You saw her drooling, though, didn't you?
That was a figure of speech.
It was a figure of speech! My God! You lost 2 husbands to poisoning! Your daughter has just learned that her father was dug out of his grave! You tell your boyfriend that oh, she's drooling normally in the bedroom!
That's
My God! Is this your testimony?
Her first husband died of a heart attack, or so they thought. Her second died by suicide. At least that's what she told the police. But in reality, Stacey Castor had a secret chilling enough to make your blood run cold. To neighbors in the quiet village of Weedsport, New York, Stacey Castor was the picture of devotion. A wife, a mother, a hard worker at her husband's air conditioning company. In 1990, Stacey married Michael Wallace. They settled in nearby Clay, had 2 daughters, Ashley and Bree, and built what seemed like the perfect American family. For 10 years, life appeared peaceful, ordinary, safe. But in the winter of 1999, something started to go very, very wrong. December 1999. Michael Wallace, just 38 years old, began getting sick. His family watched him deteriorate. He complained of feeling drunk, but he hadn't been drinking. He struggled to walk, to talk. On Christmas Eve, his sister remembered him coughing uncontrollably at a family dinner. The doctors were baffled. They thought maybe an inner ear infection. January 11th, 2000. Michael Wallace was found unresponsive on the family couch. He was pronounced dead at the hospital. The doctor's verdict, heart attack. Natural causes. Michael's sister wasn't convinced. She wanted an autopsy. Stacey refused. When the doctors told me they believed he died of a heart attack, I believed that, Stacey later claimed. There was no reason for me to question that. But 7 years later, when police dug up Michael's body, they found crystals in his organs. Antifreeze poisoning. Michael Wallace had been murdered.
Back down, and you're a convicted murderer.
That's what they say.
Can you sit here across from me again and tell me that you're not a killer?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
In 2001, Stacey met David Castor through her boss. He was a local businessman who owned an air conditioning installation company. By August 2003, they were married. Stacey became his office manager. To everyone around them, they seemed happy. But friends later described tension, arguments. Stacey complained constantly about money. August 22, 2005. Just after 3 p.m., Stacey made a frantic 911 call. "My husband just locked himself in the bedroom for the last day. I'm really scared, you know. He told me to get out. Take my kids and get out. And then he said if I left, he would make me sorry." Sergeant Robert Willoughby kicked in the bedroom door. David Castor, 48 years old, lay naked and unresponsive on the bed. Vomit covered the sheets. Next to him, a glass filled with green liquid. On the floor, a jug of antifreeze, cap off. Stacey told investigators David had been depressed about his father's recent death, that he'd been drinking heavily, that maybe, just maybe, he'd taken his own life. The coroner's report. Suicide by antifreeze ingestion. But Detective Dominic Spinelli wasn't buying it. Something felt off. David's ex-wife insisted he would never commit suicide. He loved life too much. And then investigators found something strange in the kitchen trash can. A turkey baster. It reeked of alcohol, and it had David's DNA on the tip, along with traces of antifreeze. Stacey's fingerprints were all over the glass of antifreeze, only hers, not David's. The glass had been wiped clean, except for where Stacey had held it. This was no suicide. David Castor had been force-fed antifreeze through a turkey baster and left to die a slow, agonizing death.
I will never say I did something I didn't do. I will maintain my innocence until the day that I die. I did not kill Michael Wallace. I did not kill David Castor.
Now, investigators had a horrifying realization. 2 dead husbands, both relatively young, both died suddenly, and both were buried side by side, at Stacey's request. In September 2007, detectives made a bold move. In total secrecy, they exhumed Michael Wallace's body. The medical examiner's findings confirmed their worst suspicions: antifreeze crystals in the organs, ethylene glycol poisoning. I knew at that point we had a double homicide, and Stacey Castor probably killed both her husbands. Police set up wiretaps, surveillance cameras at the grave sites. They watched her every move, and they waited. 2 days after the exhumation,
I was the 2,192nd person arrested that year.
detectives visited 20-year-old Ashley Wallace, Stacey's eldest daughter, on her first day of college. They told her the unthinkable. Her father hadn't died of a heart attack. He'd been murdered. Ashley immediately called her mother. What happened next would shock even seasoned investigators. Sensing the walls closing in, Stacey Castor devised a plan to frame her own daughter for murder. On September 13, 2007, Stacey invited Ashley over for what she called an early 21st birthday celebration. They'd had a hard day, she said. They needed to unwind. Stacey mixed Ashley a drink, vodka and Sprite. Ashley thought it tasted bitter, nasty, but her mother insisted it would help her relax. What Ashley didn't know was that the drink was laced with crushed sleeping pills and prescription medications. The next morning, Ashley's younger sister, Bree, found her unconscious in bed, barely breathing. "I need an ambulance. My daughter had taken some pills. It sounds like there's something in her throat." Ashley was rushed to the hospital. Doctors said she was 15 minutes from death. But that's not all. Investigators found, next to Ashley's bed was a suicide note, typed, over 750 words long. The note confessed to murdering both Michael Wallace and David Castor. It was signed, supposedly, by Ashley. None was ever supposed to know, but now they do, and they think you did it. But you didn't. It was me. When Ashley woke up in the hospital, she had no idea what had happened. I'm like, what are they talking about? I didn't do any of these things that you're saying that I did. But detectives noticed something. The note had a spelling error. The word antifreeze was spelled anti-free, the exact same way Stacey had pronounced it during her police interrogation. Forensic analysis revealed the note had been typed on Stacey's home computer, while Ashley was at school. Stacey Castor had poisoned her daughter, typed a fake suicide note, and tried to frame her for 2 murders, all to save herself.
She was my best friend too. She was. And then she took that all away. I would have done anything for her, but she decided that she wanted to kill me instead.
Do you wonder how she could have done this?
Every day of my life, I wonder how she did it. I wonder how you try to kill your own child.
On September 14, 2007, Stacey Castor was arrested at the hospital and charged with murder and attempted murder. Her trial began in January 2009. The media dubbed her the Black Widow. For 4 weeks, prosecutors laid out a mountain of evidence: the turkey baster, the fingerprints on the glass, the forged suicide note, the antifreeze crystals in both husbands' bodies. She is cold, calculating, and without any emotion for what she has done. Human life is sacred. To Stacey Castor, human beings are disposable. Ashley took the stand. Through tears, she testified against her own mother. The defense argued Stacey was innocent, that the evidence was circumstantial. Stacey maintained her innocence. She showed no emotion as witness after witness described her crimes. "I can't imagine your own flesh and blood is 50 feet away from you, saying, 'You tried to kill me,' and not having a reaction to that." On February 5, 2009, after 3 days of deliberation, the jury reached a verdict. On the charge of murder in the second degree, guilty. Stacey Castor sat with her eyes closed as the verdicts were read. Guilty of murdering David Castor. Guilty of attempting to murder Ashley Wallace. Guilty of forging David's will. In my 34 years in the criminal justice system as a lawyer and a judge, I have seen serial killers, contract killers, killers of every variety and stripe. But I have to say, Mrs. Castor, you are in a class all by yourself.
I have your note that the jury's reached a verdict. If you'd stand for a moment On indictment number 2007-1271-1, the people of the state of New York versus Stacey R. Castor, as to count number 1, murder in the second degree, what is the verdict?
Guilty.
On count 2, attempted murder in the second degree, what's the verdict?
Guilty.
And on count 3, offering a false instrument in the first degree, what is the jury's verdict?
Guilty.
All right. Do you wish the jury poll, Bill? Chuck?
Yes, Judge.
All right. Kelly, go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, as stated through your foreperson, you have found the defendant guilty of all 3 counts in the indictment. Juror number
She was sentenced to 51 years to life in prison, the maximum penalty. She would never see her daughters again. Because of her lengthy sentence, prosecutors chose not to pursue charges for Michael Wallace's murder. Justice, they felt, had been served. Ashley and Bree tried to rebuild their lives shattered by the woman who was supposed to protect them. Stacey Castor was sent to Bedford Hills Correctional Facility in upstate New York. On June 11, 2016, 7 years into her sentence, 48-year-old Stacey Castor was found dead in her prison cell. The cause of death? A heart attack. The same fate she claimed took her first husband. For years, Stacey Castor fooled everyone, her family, her friends, even the doctors. She was patient, manipulative, ruthless. She killed for money, for control, for convenience. Human life is sacred. To Stacey Castor, human beings are disposable. District Attorney Christine Garvey. Ashley Wallace survived. Against all odds, she went on to tell her story, to warn others about the dangers hidden behind closed doors. Because sometimes, the greatest monsters don't lurk in the shadows. They sit across from you at the dinner table.
I will maintain my innocence until the day that I die. I did not kill Michael Wallace. I did not kill David Castor. And I did not try to kill my daughter, period. And I will never say that I did, ever.
You're still telling me that your daughter killed your 2 husbands.
I'm telling you I did not.
Do you believe that police never considered your daughter fully enough as a suspect?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've done my grieving, I've done my crying.
So do you plan to appeal?
Absolutely.
On what grounds?
You'll have to ask my lawyer that.
She thought she could play God. She thought she could get away with murder. But in Weedsport, New York, justice doesn't forget. Like this story? Subscribe for more true crime cases that'll keep you up at night. Comment below. What shocked you most about this case?